Justin Botillier, CEO of Calyx CPA, here today with Britt Rollins of the National CEO of the National Psychedelics Association. And you guys are based in Portland right now, correct?
Yes, we are currently based in Portland, but we're national in the sense that we have teams in Colorado, Pennsylvania, across the country.
Yeah, and so a lot of my clients always come up to me and they're like, what can I do about banking? Where can I turn for answers and whatnot? And I always say, hey, have you looked up the National Psychedelics Association? And your email address is like your NPA, right? As the domain
Yep.
or domain name. So
Yeah.
I like that, and I always just am able to like refer them to you guys, and you guys have a good relationship with the bank, and that's always been helpful.
Yeah.
To me to be able to refer people there. But I'll let you introduce the organization.
Yeah, no, thank you, Justin. The National Psychedelics Association is a association for licensees of state psychedelic service programs. So like in Oregon with psilocybin assisted services, and like what's happening in Colorado with its psychedelic program, and soon to be in many other states, we are here to provide services to the the licensees. So that's the facilitators, the service centers, the manufacturers, and the labs. And the reason we're here is to really connect these licensees with the business services and enterprise solutions they need to be able to operate. As you know, there's a lot of restrictions that come with working with Schedule I products in states, and a lot of the national institutions won't touch it, right? Things like banking or insurance. And so out of the gate, we saw an opportunity to create a professional association for licensees in which not only are we going to connect them as peer-to-peers leading the vanguard of this movement, but really a place to acquire things like banking, insurance, all of the back-end business solutions, whether they be technology or negotiated rates, just bringing those to the market to ensure they can operate these businesses like they would in any other sector.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit of like what you've done, the successes that you've had in being able to fulfill your vision or your mission?
Absolutely. Right now, we're really focused on bringing a lot of the services to the Oregon service centers as kind of the central hub of a lot of the work that's happening. And first, we spent quite a bit of time working with our banking partner to ensure there was transparent banking. A lot of times, folks don't know that, they start these businesses, throw up their website, have a bank with Chase or Wells Fargo, thinking everything's okay. But truthfully, those banks aren't okay with you using their services. They're worried about being money launderers or trafficking in themselves. And so they shy away from these businesses, and it can cause a real disruption if they pull your account. And so we set out about a year and a half ago, trying to identify banking partners. And it took us the better part of a year to really find one that was both covering enough states to make it worthwhile, so we're not having to form new relationships every time, and also someone whose compliance could really see how this industry could benefit from their services and how they could operate without really upsetting their own systems or compliance checks. So we have a banking partner. And to access right now, we're setting up a national program. You can reach out to info@yournpa.org to get more information. It is a large bank that operates in numerous states, and we're just trying to keep all the calls entering to one program officer over at the bank. So we will happily direct you and set up that meeting up. The idea is they are fully aware of everything about this business. They're staying ahead of the game and ahead of the curve. They participated in the hemp and cannabis world for some time and still are, and really see the opportunity to supply, this market with the banking stuff they need.
And I think the fees are like $200 a month versus like cannabis. I don't know if correct.
No, they're actually $150 right now is what we were.
150, yeah.
$150
Versus like cannabis businesses are paying like $400, $500, $600 still a year, and they've been there's been medical programs for 20 plus years at this point, 25, 26 years.
Yeah.
So, and they're still having banking issues. But you're not money laundering if you won't get in trouble for money laundering. If you have a regular bank account, the worst case is they shut it down and they write a check
And send you your
to
money.
your business. And then you're like, oh, what am I gonna do now? Well, then you can go to your organization and then get a relationship with your banking partners.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me a little bit of some of the other stuff, like
So the other piece that we are able to secure at this time is for all of the service side of the sector. They can now use merchant services, so running credit cards and the like, which is, roughly 80%, sometimes 90% of the cost of these things. A lot of it is baked into the service side of it, and being able to accept
definitely.
cards is a huge ability to at least allow more individuals to participate.
Okay. All right. Right on. And then what about like solutions for like the paperwork and whatnot? Like I know that there's a whole kind of vetting process to make sure that that patients are have the capacity to go into sessions or qualify or shouldn't be excluded. I mean, there's like and then I can't remember it's OHA that in Oregon right now that has some sort of system and whatnot that you've got to report to. Is there any like integrations and things like that happening to make it easier for people to be able to use the software and keep track
We're
of
working on
stuff?
that right now. So
Okay.
we are working with a number of partners and a couple specifically to develop a compliance and client management platform that will help them not only on the front end deal with those numbers. What's different about this than cannabis is that a lot of the paperwork is so there's just so much of it, and it requires so many different types of signatures at different times in the process, and it becomes a real nightmare. And so what we're trying to bring to the space is a platform that will house all of this in one and really offer the plugins and all of the other pieces so they can basically have their business in a box, right? One place where it pulls through all of the business components that
Well,
you
I mean,
require.
that's what I'm finding is like a lot of people who are starting service centers, they're caregivers. They're people who like to work with people, and all this paperwork and this like left brain stuff is kind of neglected, or they don't, or it's just it's painful to have to dwell in that world when really what you want to do is just be sitting with people who are having the most impactful experience of their life, as people say. So yeah.
And one of the most profound experiences, and really these individuals who are coming to participate right now, these aren't big businesses. These are businesses who are started by individuals who want to participate in the healing arts, right? In the healing economy. They're not really necessarily business folks. And I think that's where MPA is going to be of such use. We're really trying to do two things: capacity build and minimize or mitigate risk for the practitioners, and really help them become better at what they're doing, such that way they can help more people heal. It's really just to help allow them to flourish, such that way, all of this kind of monotonous, boring, back end stuff that you or I do every day and find quite invigorating, it's not for everybody. And so really, how much of that can we take off their plates and really support them, and so they can do the good work that they're looking to do?
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Would you happen to have any advice for people who are looking to get into the industry or are in the industry? And I don't know, like I always have advice for people, but I'm wondering if you have advice for people who are working in the industry or thinking about it at least.
I think what we're seeing right now is that this is a longer term play, that you're not going to turn into a millionaire, billionaire overnight by starting a service center. That's not how this works. That's not how these are going to produce for you. And so if you're looking at a quick money play, this is not necessarily the market to get into right now. And I think we've seen a lot of that already flush out, where it's, can I make a quick buck? The other piece is to really get in and know the individuals already participating in this space. They are open armed and willing to support their peers in a lot of ways and share new knowledge and what's going to help, because I think there's this mutual recognition that right now there's no reason for great competition, in the sense that there's more need for cooperation. And so get in and learn who the folks are that are already doing it. They'll not only tell you better tips than I can give, probably some advice that I wouldn't even know to spell out. And the final thing I would say is, you know, it's not to make a quick buck and learn the folks in the field first. I think the third thing is just to realize that it's not cannabis. This is to the point earlier, these are profound experiences. And I think we need to hold true to that and recognize that. And for those who are looking to provide these to people, to hold that truth, because although they are amazing, that they're not without risk, and they're not without the dangers of being co-opted by bad actors or bad players. And you know, these have profound impacts in amazing ways, and I would never sit there and trash it, but at the same time, in the wrong hands, it can be dangerous. So make sure that you're here to help people and provide that, you know, profound experience. And if you do those kind of things, I think you'll be set.
Right on. Well, very good. Thank you so much, Britt.
Glad to be here, Justin.